Thank you so much for clicking on this show. I really do appreciate it. Crazy Nerdy Cool is a podcast about how people earn money with what many would consider a hobby. And today's episode, we're talking to Shay. She started by creating clothes for herself. She got extremely popular online. And then that led her to creating her own fashion brand. So if you're interested to find out how she did exactly that, sit back, relax, grab a snack, unless you're listening to this while driving, of course. And then let's get ready to get into the episode because we're jumping into it right now. You guys know me. It's your boy Fitzroy, and I am here with Shay.
Hi.
Hello. Shay does DIY clothing and shoes. She has a very impressive following on Instagram with over 115,000 followers. And after many requests, she began to sell her products that she creates. She's been invited to an exclusive party with Gary Vee as an influencer. She's spoken on a panel at a fashion convention. And it's just really inspiring to see her grow into the businesswoman and just overall great person that she has become. Shay, thank you for being on the show and talking to me.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
And I'm very proud of you.
You're proud of me? Of Fitzroy?
Yeah.
What
I'm very proud of you. Like, I've always seen you doing this, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
I see. Thank you. I mean, you kind of actually pushed me towards this. I don't remember if you were like, I was really afraid to kind of get in front of the camera and whatnot, and you're like, just do it. We're doing something.
Yeah. Just start somewhere. Yeah.
Just start. Exactly. So speaking about starting, let's start with the beginning for you. What is your origin story? Where do you come from?
Okay, so I started my Instagram, I think 2015, or origin, like where I'm born.
Either one.
So I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. Then I moved to New York when I was 6, and then to Georgia when I was 11. Yeah, so I've been in Georgia ever since. So, and now I'm 29. So,
as far as how you got into DIY stuff, how did that happen?
Okay, so it started in 2015 when I started posting my outfit pictures on Instagram before I would go to school, just like mirror selfies. And then I started buying like shoes and posting photos of that. But I would always try to get a celebrity look for less. So I started doing DIYs by showing people how I would do it, you know, like the Kardashians, Rihanna. I would just try to like create looks for less. And I did the same thing with some heels. They were some Monika Chiang heels, this designer that I found online. And I created her chain heels. And she blocked me after that.
Really? What? Yeah. Why?
I did a whole video on how, you know, you can do it yourself. And I wasn't trying to get blocked by her. But
I see.
I was trying to show people you can create the look as well. But she didn't like that, I guess.
She got salty.
Yeah, I'm still blocked.
Really? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. So how did that turn into? So you were just doing it for yourself, and then what happened? Did someone just message you and was like, "Hey, can I buy this?"
Okay, so how I got into selling was once I started to see that I could create looks that celebrities already had or designers already made. I just started playing around with my own creations, and I started selling these heels that were they were fur heels. Like I would like hot glue fur onto a pair of base heels, and that's how I started selling. Well, actually, how I started selling in general was my friend from France, Fatima. She actually started her own business online, and we were friends, and she decided to send me some bodysuits. She sent me 6 bodysuits to see if I could sell to my audience. So I practiced by selling to them, like packaging it up and everything like that. So she was the real reason I started selling. And once I saw that I could do that, that's when I started selling the fur heels. And I had a lot of orders to the point where I stopped going to school. And
really?
That was my income. Yeah. For like 3
That's
years. Yeah.
nuts.
Hmm.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
as far like, I guess you just built up your following just by showing these outfits, I
DIYs.
guess, the DIY stuff.
Yeah. Mostly just
Man, that's
DIYs.
nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just making videos and showing my creativity. And I think I really blew up in 2016 when I did a DIY Yeezy heels. Like I put socks over top of a heel, and I
Hmm.
created Kanye West's like boots for like
Oh, okay.
$2. So I
Okay.
went viral off of that. Yeah.
And those are probably the Kanyes are probably
They
much
were
much
like
more than that.
600. They were like
Wow, that's
650 or something.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a guy who sold a white T-shirt for $100, so I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Are there any misconceptions about DIY? Like, what are the most common misconceptions, would you say, that
About
people think but
DIY
aren't
is
true?
I think people think it's a lot harder than it is.
Mm,
Because I just started one day with a hot glue gun. That's it. That's all you need. I feel like people think it's something more intricate than it is, but it's just trial and error and practice, really. And even
mm,
when I mess up, like I just make it a part of the design, honestly. So
okay.
yeah, I think people think DIY is a lot harder. That's why they rather just buy it. Because I was confused. I was like, why are people buying these? Like, I literally show them how to make it for $2, and they're just like, oh yeah, like I'll buy it. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
okay,
I
yeah.
mean, I can understand that. To just the idea of like, I'm gonna make boots. I'd be like, I don't know where
Oh
to start. I don't know how
yeah,
to do any of this.
yeah. The boots are a little complicated. Those are, but the other things were very easy. So I don't know.
I see. Are there any like when you're not when you're not inspired, is there anything that you do to get inspiration?
Um, I'm never not inspired. I feel like my problem is I'm too inspired all the time. I think for
Mm,
me, it's like sometimes I have a lack of motivation for my own self, or I just feel
mm,
overwhelmed and I
okay.
procrastinate. So it's like I'll always have like a million ideas that I want to do, but I never actually like execute. So
Hmm.
that's my issue. Not
But you
so
never have a lack of inspiration. It's just speaking. I mean, what does inspire you?
Um, I would say just seeing what's out or what's trending and just looking back on some of my old things that I've done, seeing how I can like take it up a notch helps me feel inspired as well. But there are a lot of creators on TikTok especially that like are very inspirational. You know, just seeing
I see.
how they put things together. I always take inspiration from everything and
Mm.
everyone. Yeah.
What would you say is the most fun thing about selling your stuff online, and what's the most frustrating thing?
The most fun thing is when they actually receive the item and they're able to style it in a way that I don't even think I would ever come up with. Because my issue is
Mm.
like I don't necessarily think I know how to style. Like
What do you
I'm
mean
the
by that?
creative, but I don't necessarily think I know how to style. Like I
Okay.
like how like my I call them my slayers. I used to like
Mhm.
repost my followers and I would like show, you know, their outfits and stuff. And I just feel like they always know how to put things together better than I can. So I love seeing
Mm.
that. That's very fun to see. And the most like frustrating part about selling my shoes, especially right now,
Okay.
is the fact that I have to make it. Like I have to hand make them, and it's really
Mm.
intricate to make the boots that I'm selling right now. So right now I'm working on my business plan so I can just get my brand off the ground because I don't want that to be the issue.
I see. Like, so, I mean, that's a good segue into another question. Is there a goal that you're trying to get to? Like, do you want to have, like, I don't know, a factory, or get to a point where you're not making it by hand anymore?
Yeah, well, that's the goal. I want to manufacture my shoes and create my own brand and be in like Saks or Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, like those kinds of places. Yeah,
I see.
I definitely want to mass
Man.
produce. That's my goal.
I mean, have you thought of like, oh, I guess I don't know if Shark Tank would be a way for you to go, but have
Oh
you
yeah,
thought
I
of
would
something
love
like that? Like, did you ever watch Shark Tank?
Yeah, I love Shark Tank, but I don't know. Like for them, they usually have like inventions. I don't have an
That's
invention
what I was thinking.
necessarily, but I do want to create my business plan first, and then
Mm.
look into investors. So that's what I'm doing. But I want to focus on finishing up making my shoes first that I already have like for my clients now.
I
So.
gotcha. I gotcha. And when you do that, is it just like you're doing one shoe at a time because it's just you, like one style of shoe?
Yeah, right now it's just one because I have been gone away from social media in terms of like creating for a long time. So I just came back to doing it. And one of my videos just blew up where I was wearing
I've noticed.
those particular shoes. So I was like, okay, so I'll just make these. And it's a good start because it was a good reminder of like what I love and what I wanted to do. So yeah.
Speaking about that, is there like a particular accomplishment that you would say you are most proud of?
Um I would say like I don't know if this is gonna answer your question, but I don't know. Like my biggest accomplishment is like not giving up.
Okay.
Like I have like you know accolades for certain things, but I think when you like get to a place where you don't believe in yourself a lot, or you're like very you know, depressed. Like
Mm,
my biggest accomplishment is always like keeping going and stuff because I could say a number like 100,000 followers like is a big accomplishment, of course, but my biggest accomplishment is not giving up because for years like that's what I was doing and yeah.
mm. Yeah, and I guess that's the easy thing to do. Like a lot of, I know I've quit a bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't have. A lot of my friends tell me that I should have never quit YouTube, and I did. So the fact that you haven't given up, I think, is actually a really really big accomplishment.
Yeah. And for you, like you have to remember whenever you're in that state of wanting to quit, there's a reason why. It's
Hmm.
because like whatever trajectory you were on was not going to serve you anyway. So when you do it now, you'll feel more accomplished and all the lessons that you learn along that journey is going to help you right now today. That's why I'm not upset with myself for giving up. Like I could have been somewhere different 5 years ago, but I
Hmm.
probably wouldn't have been fulfilled in that because there's a reason why I stopped to begin with. So now I'm more appreciative, I'm more happy, I'm able to actually keep what I want. So look at it like that. So whenever yours blows up and goes off, you'll be like, okay, I'm glad I did it now because I'm able to appreciate it now. I'm able to actually sustain what I have because obviously you weren't able to do it back then. So there's a reason why you never fulfilled that goal. And there's no age limit on this, like on
Right,
success.
right. That's a good point. That's a good point. Um, well, if you had to start over, let's say, and knowing what you know now, is there
Mhm.
anything that you would have done differently as far as selling online and DIY stuff?
I would have gotten my business plan written a long time ago. When I first created my chain heel, like my version of the chain heels, I would have just made it because I think I was putting limitations on myself, like, oh, I can't get my shoes manufactured. Yeah, I can.
Mm,
Everyone starts somewhere. I have so many friends that literally just made a business plan and they're millionaires now. Like that's it.
mm,
You don't have to have any experience, you don't have to have any money. You just have to have a plan. You have to like do the research and I have the backing in terms of an audience. So I wish I would have just went all in instead of like second guessing myself. I could have been in stores by now.
mm.
So
And when you say business plan, like how does one create a business plan? Like, do you have tips on
well,
that or?
Well, I don't necessarily have full tips on it. I'm meeting up with a friend next week in order to like she's started a couple businesses, so she's gonna assist me with that. I don't necessarily have like a guide to help
Okay.
anyone right now in terms of that, but it's just I know you can also do it like in a P not a P, like a PowerPoint like kind of
Right.
setup as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you're basically listing out what your target market is, how much you plan to make, how many employees you plan to have, what the market
Okay.
size is, like, in terms of your niche audience, who are you targeting, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Questions that investors want to know, like, how can we make money from you? And considering I already have like a business, I can show them I've already made money before. So it's just
Right.
basically putting that on paper so someone can invest in you. They have to see, okay, what are you planning to make? Who are you selling to? Stuff like that.
I see. I see. Okay, that makes. If someone wanted to start doing
Hmm.
something similar to you, what steps do you think that you would suggest that they take, and what are some things that you think you would suggest them to stay away from?
So I would definitely focus on building a community, not an audience,
Okay.
like a community, and find something to give for free first before you leverage selling. If
Okay.
you're whatever you decide to get into, be the kind of person who teaches, like give to someone first before you ask them to buy your products. I know some people run on that principle of just selling, that's fine, but for me
Hmm.
what's worked is building and sharing how to's, like a how to video, how to do this, how to do that, whatever your industry is, give to them first and find out why you want to do it. Because at some point, you're going to, be consistent and blow up, and you're going to forget why you did it. And,
Hmm.
just remember why you did it, and then give knowledge for free first, and then
Okay.
incorporate whatever you're planning to sell, make it knowledgeable as well. So if you're planning to sell something, you can, like, if you have a skincare line, then you can
Hmm.
incorporate your skincare products, show them how to do their morning routine with a skincare product or something like that. So that's how it could be organic. So it doesn't seem like you're just a sellout. Like, okay, I got my audience,
Yeah. Yeah.
so here's my skincare line. So
Hmm.
always try to find a way to inject who you are from the very beginning. So you're not just like copying someone and you're just like, I don't like how I blew up and now I'm this person that's known for this, but I'm actually like this. Like,
Hmm.
start exactly how you are right now and who you are as a person. Yes, you can look at other people for inspiration, but try to put a little bit of your personality in there from the jump. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I really like the going the educational route for stuff like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
What about is there anything that any pitfalls that you saw or maybe fell into yourself that you think you would suggest people steer away from?
Endorsing products or services that you're not actually passionate about, whether it's for,
Mm,
money or leverage, or just or working with people that you're not passionate about just because they have a certain amount of followers, or, you know, just remembering that your integrity is all you have. So if you're just doing something for money, it's going to show and you're going to feel bad about it. So I
mm,
don't take a lot of deals from people anymore that I don't support. Like, if you see me promoting something, it's because I support it. If you see me hanging out with someone, it's
I
because
see.
I support them as a person, like stuff like that.
Being a black woman, right, especially from the island, is there anything that background do you think was a hindrance to you, and was there anything that you think was an advantage?
I think it was an advantage because I feel like because of my upbringing, I'm a dreamer. So I always think that I can do more than I'm not limited in my thinking, if that makes sense, because of where I came from. You know,
I see.
Coming
Hmm.
from like Jamaica to here, it's like it's a big dream for people. So,
It
like, I
is.
always dream big. It has not hindered me in that way.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. What would you say is the best way people can support you? Like, where would they go? Should they follow your IG? Do you have a website?
I would say my Instagram right now. That's the most consistent I've been. Yeah. My
And that,
Instagram's the new Vogue. Yeah.
you know what? Actually, that's a good point because I know you're never supposed to you're never supposed to ask a woman her age or what
Oh,
year
I don't
they were
care.
born.
I
But I
don't
was
care.
gonna say that Vogue is kind of before your time. Like, how did you come up with the name the New Vogue?
I just love fashion and Vogue, and I was just like, what's a good twist on that? Yeah.
Okay, I see, I
I
see, I
do want
see.
to convert it over to just Shay Charisse because that will be the name of my brand. So, you know.
Mm, I see. Just to make
But
it like
I got verified, so it's kind of hard to do it now that.
really once you get verified, it's difficult to change the name.
Yeah, I don't know
Mm.
how they're doing it now that you can like buy verification, but I can't change my name.
Oh, on like
I have to
Twitter, I
like.
think is where you buy verification, right?
No, you can buy verification on Instagram too. They started that.
Really?
Yes, they started that last week or so. Yeah.
That's lame. I don't I don't
I
like. I
guess.
mean, I'm far from being verified, but I feel like it's if you
Yeah,
can just
I don't
buy it, then
know.
anyone, yeah.
I think people maybe they're just afraid that their account might get compromised. So I don't
Oh,
know.
I see. Okay.
It might be a
What?
good way to not get your account compromised. I just want to be able to change my name. That's all. Like I don't care. Like, I just want to change my name.
Well, I mean, based about that, when it comes to verification online and stuff like that, how do you feel about the pay to verify? Like, are you pro it? Are you against it, or do you just not care at all?
Oh, I don't have an opinion on it. Like for
Mm.
certain things, like they don't bother me one way or another. Like it's everyone has their reasonings for things. I don't have an opinion on it. Do you have an opinion on it?
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean,
Why
but I didn't
not?
think of that. I didn't think of that point that you made that people probably just don't want to be impersonated, I guess, because
Hmm.
there are a lot of impersonators. So I didn't
Yeah.
think about that. But prior to that point,
Hmm.
I felt that it took away any prestige that went with that. But
Right.
you make a good
Oh
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they can change it up a little bit to make it a difference between like maybe other people who earned it by being on TV or something versus like people who are just buying it to not. I don't know, change the color maybe? Maybe change it to green,
Yeah,
like a
you
green
could do
check.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
we can tell the
I read
difference.
that exactly. I read that on Twitter. If you go to their account, that there will be, it will say paid verification or
Oh.
whatever verification, like
Oh,
a
okay.
verified.
That's
So you can
interesting.
tell on Twitter. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh,
So
okay.
maybe Instagram will do something similar. But I had no idea that
Yeah.
they had that on IG.
Yeah, I looked at my stories. I was like, wow, there's a lot of verified accounts. And I realized, like, okay.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Oh man. Last question for you. If you had, let's say you had the attention of the entire world for a minute, is there anything that you would tell them?
I would tell them be kind to yourself and be careful how you talk to yourself when no one is listening, because that's all you
Mm,
have is how you speak to you. You know, the same
mm,
love and care you put into, say, a child or a grandparent, like you need to give that to yourself. That's what I would tell the whole
mm,
world and anybody I know. And that's what I continue to tell everyone in my life. Like, stop talking to you, stop bullying yourself. No one's
mm,
listening to you. So why are you telling yourself you can't do it? Why are you telling yourself no one likes you? Why are you telling yourself you're not attractive? Like that stuff is materializing in your world. And when
mm.
people are like, oh, thoughts don't create things, I tell them, tell yourself that you're ugly, sick, and fat for a week then. And they're like, no, I would never do that. Okay, so thoughts create.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Nice.
just watch your thoughts. Be kind to yourself. That's what I would tell everyone.
Gotcha, gotcha. Again, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. I know that you are a very busy Oman, and you got a lot of things going on. So
And
I
that's my
appreciate you.
cousin.
That- As she stated, Shay is my cousin, and I am extremely proud of the woman that she's grown into. If you're one of Shay's slayers, if you learned something this episode, or even if we just helped you kill some time by entertaining you for a little bit, please share this with someone who you think will feel the same way. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Crazy Nerdy Cool, but until then, Don't get beat up out there.
Crazy.
Nerdy. Cool.